One of the many questions about passing probation at a company is, what is the typical length of a probation period? Can you quit your job while on probation? Can you change teams while on probation? And can you be fired while on probation? And because these questions come up all the time, I decided to share as much information as I could about this subject, so in hopes that it will be useful to you guys. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm really happy to see you here. So if I haven't covered anything specific to your situation, please leave your question in the comment section below and I'll do my best to answer it. And if you want to help this video to pass its own probation here on YouTube, hit the like button, sub the channel, and turn on the bell not to miss my future very useful videos. Okay, with that said, let's get started. So probation period starts from the first day on your job. So during this time, an employee can be fired with little or no notice if they are not good enough for the job. Probation periods usually last between 1 to 6 months and a very common part of any new job contract. And it also may last up to 3 months when an employee is moving from one position to another position internally in the company. However, it's not the case. I heard a story about one Amazon employee who was on probation at Amazon for 2 years in one of the company's global offices. So it may sound a little bit daunting, but it's not about showing your boss how valuable you are as an employee. You also have the same rights to judge your employer and decide if you want to keep working there after your trial period is over. So in the United States, the length of a probation period depends on what the employer and employee agreed upon. Most US employees, however, work under at-will principle, which means that anyone can quit or be terminated at any time.
I'm leaving Apple for good. Actually, I already did. I thought I should come back and tell you first.
The only state where this is not the case is Montana, where the default probationary period is 6 months from the date of hiring. It's good to know that if you were given a relocation allowance to help you move to a different location, you could even pay back some of the employer's costs. But honestly, I haven't seen this in practice. So it's more reasonable to pay for your future moving expenses if your job is terminated. So again, because employment in the United States is at will, you can quit your job if you find a better alternative somewhere else, or if you were job hunting and you were waiting for a job offer from your preferred employer who might be slower than the current employer to hire you, and you are still free to join them and leave your current employer. However, out of respect for the manager who hired you, you should think about the notice period, even if you don't like your new job, your new company, your new tasks, and your coworkers. So the same applies to your employer if they are not satisfied with your work, and you should be paid fully, including your notice period.
So I've got to leave in about, 3 minutes.
I'm sorry to inform you, but I think you'll find that by contract you're expected to give at least 6 weeks' notice.
So while researching for this topic, I also came across a question that sometimes a manager wants to put back an employee on probation after it ends. Is this legal? If this is your case, your employer needs to get your permission before extending any probationary period. And if this was not stipulated in your contract, asking for your consent is a must. And of course, you are more likely to agree to this extension, because if you don't, you will be fired with due notice. I suggest you actually start looking for a new job and going for interviews as soon as you got a heads up about your poor performance. So, and behind the scenes, your manager may have already started looking for someone else to replace you, or at least your manager told the HR department that there might be issues with a new employee and the company recruiter might be looking for another candidate very soon.
What are you gonna fire me?
No! I already fired you!
Now, some employees have to deal with all kinds of personal issues while starting a new job, like being sick, for example, needing medical care, being absent because of family issues, weddings, birthing, and so on. And a lot of time, people have good reasons to worry about that these personal issues will make it harder for them to pass the probation. Therefore, telling your manager that you will be absent for some time of course, may be risky, and it depends on the company culture. If you know that you are going for a planned vacation, let's say in September, tell the recruiter and the person who's hiring you, the hiring manager, ahead of time that you have this planned. Let your manager decide if they want to wait for you while you are still interviewing. So the next question I want to cover is, should you expect an automatic salary increase after your probation ends? Many employers don't give raises routinely. Most of the time, though, an employee may be eligible for more company benefits after the trial period ends and it goes well. Another related question is that some people think that asking for a raise after successfully passing their probation is the right time to do so. But you have to understand that probationary period only ensures that both the employee and the employer agree on certain performance standards and expectations, and nothing more. And again, if this was not stipulated in your agreement before, you should not wait for any salary increases and so on. And I also wanted to add up to the question that I covered before about terminating an employee at any given time, is that in the United States, an employer can terminate an employee at any time. However, they must not unfairly dismiss or unlawfully discriminate you against and terminate your job. So in this case, for example, if you're getting sick during your probation, your employer must also, on their part, make reasonable adjustments considering your illness or disability. So therefore, if you fear that you may lose your job by the end of the probation period, make sure you are not discriminated against your illness or your condition, and that your dismissal is fair, aka performance-based. At the end of the day, if your potential employer doesn't care about what's going on in your life, think about it. Is it worth to work for them? Now, let's talk about the future baby coming out.
I'm Bridget, and this is Jack, and this is Mark.
Oh, lovely. You're our second same-sex couple today.
If you're expecting a baby, first of all, congratulations. When is the due date? Are you expecting a boy or a girl? Asking these questions is quite natural, and the more positive your manager and HR, the better for you when they hear those news. I understand why future moms are worried about this, because they don't know what the culture is inside the new company. They barely know their coworkers and their manager. So all you can do in this situation is to work hard and do your best to meet expectations to pass the probation period. If you don't want to tell your boss that you were pregnant while you were on probation or while you were interviewing, that's fine. You can keep the news to yourself and tell your boss after your probation is over. So when you tell your company that you're expecting a baby, your employer should walk you through the process, how to apply for mat and pad leave, including what benefits you are entitled to. So you also should receive an email from an HR person with the maternity leave policy, and they will also ask you what is the estimated due date in order to plan your replacement. In some countries, paternity leaves are mandatory. Unfortunately, not in the United States. So as I know, Netflix is one of the best companies for parental leaves. Since 2015, Netflix has offered 100% salary compensation for parental leave with a flexible schedule for new parents. So while most employees take between 4 to 8 months of leave, those who want to take longer are welcome to do it. Anyway, what you should remember is that even if you are pregnant and have poor performance, you may still get fired due to poor performance. And if this happens, please don't worry, don't push yourself too hard. Enjoy your maternity leave and apply for unemployment benefits. The good thing is that employees on probation enjoy all statutory employment rights. This means that employees are entitled to the federal minimum wage, time off, statutory sick days, family-related leave, and also the notice period if their job is going to be terminated later after the probation ends should be respected according to the contract. So, and the last but not least, if your boss wants to terminate you before the end of probation due to bad performance, it's possible also with due compensation. I hope I answered some of your questions. Don't be shy to ask anything that I didn't cover, and write me comments. Like and sub the channel to stay educated on how companies work and how to take your career into your own hands. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.